good hell. What kind of weight do we have in college football, man? Like, what in the fuck just happened? It seems like we're in a fucking time machine with all these damn upsets. Like, this season has been crazy. I would have loved for it to be better for us, but it got worse. But anyways, welcome back to Grizzly Talks Football. We have Week 13 college football reactions with the Week 14 AP poll reaction as well today. If you are new to this playlist, I'll have a link in the description so that you guys can view the entire playlist, get every single video so that you're all caught up, and you'll also have it for future videos whenever I post them. Also, make sure you hit that red subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single video. Make sure you also smash that like button. Without further ado, let's get to the games. Kicking this off, we have the college game day / big noon kickoff game between the 5th ranked Indiana Hoosiers and the number 2 ranked Ohio State Buckeyes, with the Buckeyes with a pretty much dominating win, 38-15. The undefeated season for Indiana is over. It was good while it lasted, Hoosiers, but hey, don't worry. If you win your next game, you might sneak into the playoffs, but that's just me. This was just Ohio State's game the entire time. Well, except the first quarter. On the day, Curtis Rourke didn't have very many opportunities to throw the ball. I mean, he was 8 of 18 for 68 yards. Yeah, he threw 18 times when the passing game is pretty much your strongest thing. But that's not my judge. That's not my call. But Will Howard had himself 200 yards at 22 of 26. 2 touchdowns and a pick. Solid game for the quarterback for Ohio State. As far as the rushing game goes, it was really good for Indiana. We got Tyson Lawton getting both of the touchdowns in this game. Meanwhile, for Ohio State, it's been solid. Will Howard got himself a rushing touchdown along with Trevion Henderson as well. I'm going to ignore Indiana's passing because, well, come on. He threw 18 times and he completed 8 passes. Emeka Egbuka led the receiving with 7 catches for 80 yards and a score, and the other touchdown went through Jelani Thurman. Indiana had 1 interception, and Jalen Walker absolutely balled out. Unfortunately, it was just for nothing. And so did D'Angelo Pons with 3 pass defenses, but unfortunately it wasn't enough. They just could not stop Ohio State all game long. I mean, 5 sacks among 3 players, 2.5 from Simon, 1.5 from Jack Sawyer. We also had 2 forced fumbles by Simon and Lathan Ransom. One of them recovered by Ty Hamilton. That was the turnover of the game. And yeah, they just could not be stopped on defense or offense, pretty much. The Big Ten might have just overtaken the SEC as the best conference in this season of college football, because this conference has some good teams in there. Ohio State, Oregon, and Indiana. While the SEC, oh boy, it's just chaos everywhere. Good win, Buckeyes. Good luck in your rivalry game against Michigan. You probably won't need it, though. There were also 2 top 25 matchups, including the college game day. Well, aside from the college game day. And this was one of them. Yep. Second loss in a row for BYU. 14th ranked BYU lost to 21st ranked Arizona State in Tempe, 28-23. This sucks so bad. Passing the ball wasn't terrible. I mean, Retzlaff, 22 of 38. It's just the turnovers kill us. 300 yards and a touchdown with 2 interceptions. Terrible. I'm telling you, the turnovers are the things that kill us because our defense, other than that, plays pretty convincingly well, unless you're playing against Cam Scatabo. Meanwhile, Sam Leavitt has 16 of 25 for 250 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Keelan Marion got the only 2 rushing touchdowns in the game. The rushing game other than that was pretty mid. And for receiving, we had Darius Lassiter get 5 catches for 103 yards, with the only touchdown going to JoJo Phillips. That's an interesting name I haven't heard in a while. Anyways, yeah, our run defense collapsed twice in a row. This time against Cam Scatabo with 150 yards and 3 touchdowns in the game. Jesus Christ. The leader receiving was Jordan Tyson, as always. 9 catches, 125 yards, with the only touchdown being a 61-yarder to Xavier Guillory. Glasgow had a solid game with double-digit tackles and 2 tackles for loss. There was also an interception by Tanner Wall, forced fumble by Miles Hall, but that's pretty much all the highlights for the defense in this game. We got killed on the run. As for Anderson Estate, they only got 1 sack the entire game, but that was not the main factor of the game. That was the 2 interceptions by Jordan Crook and Javon Robinson. The turnovers were the main difference in this game, and Arizona State had 2 picks. I'm just at a loss for words right now. We got 1 more game against Houston to maybe kind of stay in the Big 12 title race, but we need a lot of things to go our way in order to get to the Big 12 championship, which is going to be in Dallas. This was definitely a backbreaker. And here is the other ranked versus ranked matchup. 6th ranked Notre Dame played 18th ranked Army. Yeah, the score tells you what happened there. 49-14, Notre Dame dominated the game at all. The comfort of defending the option from playing a ranked Navy team at the time really did help the Irish here. They blew out Army and gave them their first loss of the year. I don't know what happened to Notre Dame after that Northern Illinois game, but it seems like they just turned into a team that ran the table in the regular season in 2012. That's exactly what they looked like after that Northern Illinois loss. Anyways, no touchdowns, of course. The passing game's not important for Army, even though it was 4-9 for 26 yards. What? And for Notre Dame, Riley Leonard, 10 of 13, 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. They passed the ball 18 times, the same amount that Curtis Rourke did against Ohio State. What the hell? Bryson Daly did his job on the ground, it just wasn't enough because the defense could not stop Notre Dame whatsoever. As for Notre Dame, 5 rushing touchdowns, 2 for Jeremiah Love, who also had 130 rushing yards. Nias Williams had a score, and 2 touchdowns for Jadarian Price. Leading receiver was actually Jordan Faison with 2 catches for 46 yards and a touchdown. Oh yeah, and Jeremiah Love also had a receiving touchdown. He killed it this game with 3 total touchdowns. Not much else I can say about this defense except they got cooked. 1 turnover in the ball game and only 1 sack for that Notre Dame defense. That's interesting. Leonard Moore got the forced fumble with Kaiser getting the recovery. That was the only thing good for Notre Dame in that game. As far as their defense goes, because the offense did its job and did the rest of the work. That was just a disaster for Army, but don't worry. You have some winnable games coming up. You're going to be in the American Conference Championship against Tulane. Just better hope you win it, right? As far as Notre Dame goes, they win 1 game pretty much. I think win or lose, I think they're still in the playoffs no matter what. Or maybe not. Maybe they have to win 1 more game to be in, really. But that's just me. Ladies and gentlemen, we got quite a bundle of upsets this week. First up, we have Florida bringing the number 9 Ole Miss Rebels to the Swamp and beating them there 24-17. DJ Lagway, holy cow. And Florida also attained bowl eligibility from this win. There's another team in the SEC that attained bowl eligibility after beating a top 10 SEC team. You'll see that later on. As far as passing, Jackson Dart, 24-41 for 320 yards, 2 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions. He had a solid game if it wasn't for the turnovers. And also DJ Lagway, 10 of 17 for 180 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. He had himself a game as well. Rushing game, it was pretty solid for Ole Miss. I mean, Jackson Dart had 71 rushing yards, so he had 400 total yards of offense, and they wasted his performance. Leading receiver was Caden Lee with 6 catches for 94 yards and a score, and the other touchdown going to Trey Harris for 43 yards out. Montreal Johnson led the way in Florida's rushing game with 107 yards and a score. And receiving leader was Elijah Badger, 5 catches, 87 yards and a score, with Jaden Bogg having a 25-yard receiving touchdown. Man, it's getting dark in here and shit. 3 sacks for Ole Miss's defense and an interception by John Saunders, but they just could not stop Florida's offense from scoring points. 4 sacks from 2 players. Caleb Banks had 2.5. Tyreek Sapp had 1.5. However, there was a fumble recovery by DJ Douglas, but the main player of the game on defense was definitely Bryce Thornton. 2 interceptions, including the game-winning one. Florida's defense came through when it mattered the most, and they were able to pull off a big upset at home in the Swamp. Great job, Gators. Good luck in your bowl game. Next up, we got number 16 Colorado losing to unranked Kansas, 37-21. I had a good feeling that Colorado was going to lose that game, and sure enough, they did. This is now Kansas's 3rd straight win against a ranked team. What the hell has happened to the Big 12? We got 2 of the top 3 preseason Big 12 standing holders not being bowl eligible, and now we got Colorado losing to Kansas, who was not supposed to be that great. Let me just say, Kansas might be the best 5-6 team this year. I'm not saying Shedeur Sanders played horrible. He actually played well. 23 of 29 for 260 yards and 3 touchdowns, with Jalen Daniels having 21 passes, completing 14 of them for 190 yards and a touchdown. The rushing game for Colorado was non-existent all game. And Travis Hunter, 8 catches, 125 yards, and 2 scores, with Draylen Miller having the other touchdown. But the rushing game was the main difference in the game because of one name, 3 syllables. Devin Neal. Holy shit. 37 carries, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns. Oh yeah, and he also had a receiving touchdown because why not give it to him? 300 yards, 4 touchdowns total all in the game for Devin Neal. Absolute insanity. That guy's a dog. I would take him in the draft in the NFL if I was a guy who needed a running back. Shiloh Sanders had double-digit tackles, and there was only 1 sack by B.J. Green, but other than that, the defense got served. Nothing good really came from Kansas's defense either, except the fact that they were able to stop the rushing game, because the passing game, yikes. Yeah, you want to fix your pass defense, Kansas. And a big shout out to Tabor Allen, the kicker for Kansas, for getting 13 total points in this game on 3 field goals and 4 extra points. Big win for Kansas, big game for Devin Neal, and Colorado just could not stop him. Defense does still need work for Colorado to be a playoff team, but this was definitely not the game that Colorado wanted. Kansas could attain bowl eligibility again. Hopefully. I hope you could do it, Jayhawks. Please. Yeah, I think this was the stunner of the week. Alabama, the number 7 team in the country, by the way. Number 7 team only puts up 3 points against the Oklahoma Sooners in Norman. Gives Oklahoma bowl eligibility after a very mediocre season in terms of Oklahoma, considering how dominant they have been in history. But this was one of the biggest wins this season for the Sooners. I'm kidding, it's the biggest win. But what the hell happened here, Alabama? You guys couldn't score a single touchdown. Like, the offense was bad. Against a bad OU offense. Like, come on, man. An embarrassing outing for Jalen Milroe, 11-26 for 160 yards and 3 interceptions. Ouch. It's not like Jackson Arnold did any better, except not throw any picks. Rushing game was just non-existent all game long, and the leading receiver was Jeremy Denard. Would have been Ryan Williams if it wasn't for an illegal touching penalty. But Oklahoma ran all over the Tide, with Xavier Robinson getting 2 touchdowns. Jackson Arnold had 130 rushing yards. What the hell? At least the defense got a forced fumble. Deontay Lawson recovered it from Bray Hubbard, but that was the only highlight. Because Oklahoma got 3 interceptions. 1 from Eli Bowen, 1 from Woody Washington, and a pick 6 from Kip Lewis. Kip knew the Tide was going to lose. Yeah, that was a bad joke. That wasn't funny. But anyways, Great win, Sooners. Enormous win. And you are bowl eligible now. But this was definitely not a great season for you guys. And this would certainly eliminate Alabama from playoff contention more than likely. Unless the committee has a little crush on Alabama to drop them less than they should. They better not. Also, can we stop having biased voters in these damn polls? Like, get someone who is unbiased and actually watches every game, every conference. Like, come on, man. And the final game we are going to be talking about is the 4-overtime thriller between 15th ranked Texas A&M and Auburn, with the Tigers coming out on top in 4 overtimes, like I said, 43-41. I miss the old overtime rules when the long overtimes would take forever and people actually got excited for that. This is not as exciting at all. And I saw the last pass that Auburn defended to win this game. It was a great pass by Reed. It really was, and the receiver just dropped it. Sad. Marcel Reed had himself a very solid game. 22 of 35 for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns and a pick in this game, with Peyton Thorne 19 of 31 for 300 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. These quarterbacks went neck and neck. Rushing game for both teams were solid, with Amari Daniels having 90 yards and a touchdown, with Terry Bussey having the other one for Texas A&M, and Jarquez Hunter having 130 yards and 3 touchdowns casually. For receiving, leading receiver was Noah Thomas, 5 catches, 124 yards, and 2 touchdowns, with a touchdown from Jade Walker. And for Auburn, Cam Coleman, 7 catches, 128 yards, and 2 touchdowns, with Keandre Lambert-Smith also having 100 yards receiving. I will say the only highlight for A&M's defense was BJ Mays getting an interception, but that was basically it. Same thing with Auburn, with Jaron Thompson getting the interception. I gotta be honest, this is surprising that this turned into an offensive shootout, but I'm glad this happened. Congratulations, Auburn. You are 1 win away from bowl eligibility, and guess who you're playing? The Alabama Crimson Tide, who got smacked by the team that also beat you by 1 point in your own stadium. Go beat the Tide, Auburn. I know, I'm biased against Alabama. I just can't stand them. And now we got the Week 14 AP poll. This doesn't mean shit, but it's my duty to bring this to you. Anyways, top 4 remains the same as always. Notre Dame moves up to 5. After that one, they moved up 1 spot. I agree with it. 6 through 10, we got Georgia, Tennessee, Miami, SMU, and Indiana. I don't know, man. Miami losing to Georgia Tech, I think, is worse than losing to the now 19th best team in the country. I think SMU should be ahead, and Indiana still in the top 10 just because it's their first loss. Boise State moves to 11, Clemson at 12, Bama only moves to 13, I think is an absolute bullshit. Arizona State at 14, they should be 13. Ole Miss is at 15. Let me tell you something, Ole Miss would beat Alabama. Yeah, I said it. As far as the bottom 10 goes, like I said, BYU at 19, South Carolina going to 16. They have been on a roll as of late. Iowa State to 17, Tulane at 18, A&M drops to 20. UNLV at 21, Illinois is hanging in there at 22, Colorado drops to 23, surprised they didn't go below Missouri, and also Army's at 25 for some stupid reason. The Army disrespect is real, and I hate every bit of it. And before I end this episode, I'm going to reveal my college game day pick between Texas and Texas A&M, which is going to be college game day. The Lone Star Showdown is back. If you don't know what the Lone Star Showdown was, this was a rivalry between 2 Big 12 teams from the state of Texas, being Texas and Texas A&M. They doubly called it the Lone Star Showdown. For I don't even know why. But in this case, they are in the SEC, and for this game, I'm actually going to go with the Texas Longhorns. I know, I picked them last time, and I completely sold the bag with it. I think they're going to win this time. It's against Texas A&M too. And this is also big because the winner of this game is in the SEC championship game, so the stakes couldn't be any higher. For right now, for me, it's horns up. And that'll do it for this episode of Grizzly Talks Football. If you enjoyed it, make sure you smash that like button, hit the red subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you do not miss a single video. This is the Grizzly signing off, and until next time, I will see you later. Peace!